Okay, number 14, Dutchmen are known to be among the tallest in the world. The heights of Dutchmen are normally distributed. Average is 184 centimeters, standard deviation is 8. What percentage of Dutchmen is at least 200 centimeters tall? So these look like pretty nice numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and just draw the normal distribution and see if we could just use that and not have to use the z-table. So we have 184 is the mean, and I'm going to draw standard deviations above and below. The standard deviation is 8, so this would be 192, 200, and 208. And then if we subtract 8, 176, subtract 8, 168, and 160. So what percentage of Dutchmen is at least 200 centimeters tall? That would be everything beyond this region here. So we know that this half is 50%. This is 34%, and this is 13.5%. Okay, now if I just subtract this whole half, 50%, minus these two, the remaining is 2.5%. Okay, what percentage of Dutchmen is between 176 and 192? So that's between these two. So basically 1 standard deviation from the mean. The empirical rule tells us that 68% of the data lies within 1 standard deviation, 34 and 34. So this is 68%. What percentage of Dutchmen is shorter than 160? So we're basically looking at just that right there. So if you look at the rest of these numbers here, so this is 34, 13.5, and if you haven't memorized your values on this entire curve, but you do know the empirical rules, this is 68, 95, and then this right here to the third standard deviation is 99.7%. So beyond the second standard deviation, we have 0.3% left of the data, but we need to split that into two parts, this part here and this part here. So if I do 0.3% divided by 2, that's 0.15%. So for comparison, the average height of American men is 176 centimeters with a standard deviation of 7. What's more unusual, a Dutch man who's 211 centimeters or an American man who's 200 centimeters? So we already know for the Dutch men, let's do the Dutch first. 211 centimeters minus the average we were told is 184 divided by the standard deviation of 8. Then for the American, we're being given a man who is 200 centimeters tall. The average one is 176 and the standard deviation is 7. So we're comparing those, and whichever one is farther away from the mean would be more unusual. And we get 3.4 approximately, and then the American man, divided by 7 is 3.4, and I rounded too much, so this I'm going to round a little bit more, so 429. Then this one right here, 211 minus 184 divided by 8, be a little more accurate here, 375. So if I compare these, they're very close, but what's more unusual, well, the American man is a little more unusual because they have a higher z-score. He's a little bit taller than the average, relatively. So this would be the American man.